In this episode of Mighty Car Mods, we are going to check out this guy's car, which I can pretty much guarantee will have nothing on my Mad Evo.
When you got $3,000 in Australia, Martin, and you want to buy a car with it that's turbo and manual, there ain't a whole lot of choices, but occasionally you look down and sitting right there at your feet is a nugget, isn't it? Just a big brown nugget, but in it, that's not corn, it's gold, isn't it, Martin? And when you pull that apart and you look at that gold and then you stretch it out and you realize you can wrap yourself in it and then look through its glistening face, what's on the other side of it is a world of untold fortunes, discovery, and magic. And that is exactly what happened when I found this car. So in this episode, I'm going to introduce you to the car that is going to annihilate, decimate, what's the word when you poo? Desecrate?
Defecate.
It's going to, my car's going to defecate all over Marty's car. That's basically what's going on. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I introduce to you
His lack of vocabulary.
the defecator. Hello, Martin.
Hello, mate.
How you going, mate?
I'm good. That looks exciting. What's going on there?
How weird is Australian money?
Currency.
You know, Australian money, they made it like this way because it was unbreakable, like you can't rip it.
Oh, so did you just rip it?
No, I didn't. And look at this, Martin. I'll show you what else you can do. It's waterproof and unbreakable.
It's
But
got
Martin-
holograms on it. Oh no, I got distracted by how nice that thing is behind you.
There's a see-through thing on it. So that's Aussie wet money. But Martin, the budget challenge continues. Of course, last time we saw your it's gonna be wondering why his money's wet. Last time we saw your incredible, too sexy Evo. How's it going, mate?
It's the Mitsubishi Evo Stancer.
Is it? Oh, the Stancer.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
awesome.
Stancer. Someone called it a Stancer the other day. I'm like, that's brilliant. I'm borrowing that.
At the lights. The TRD Evo. How much was it again?
2,700.
Have a guess how much I've got here, Martin.
Three grand.
No, less.
2,700.
2,700.
No, really?
Yes. So I've bought a car also, sight unseen, off the internet. It's being driven 10 hours from way up north. It's $2,700 and
With Rego?
with Rego for 6 months.
That's pretty good.
Which
That's
is
worth
pretty
like
awesome.
$700 by itself.
So I could tell you a few things about the car if you want, Martin.
No,
Okay.
I don't want to know.
All right. Well, can you give me a ride to Macca's?
Yeah. Is that where you're getting it from?
Yeah. Isn't that where you buy? Isn't that where you buy and sell cars from Macca's?
Sure.
Need that RTA form, computer, monies. Let's go buy a car
Make sure you check the
that
news ID.
will dominate all Evos. Awesome, man.
I
Turbo. It's no, not your car, mine.
Oh.
Turbo, manual, registered,
And running by the sounds of it. I don't know that my Stancer would make it.
2-door.
8-hour drive.
Yeah, see, that's the good thing. When you're buying a car and they've got to drive it 10 hours, then you know that it actually works. Unless their mate just like tipped them off the back of a tow truck. Remember when I bought my GTIR?
Yeah.
That sucked.
Yeah, that sucked.
It's like he drove it to me. He goes, yeah, the car's totally fine. And then we got about 2 kilometres before it just blew up.
Overheated.
That
See you later.
sucked.
So let's go.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Oh, look, sorry, I'm a bit distracted by how...
I actually do got to meet him in like 10
Oh,
minutes.
okay, alright.
Thank you. Because he had to drive it a long way to get here, there is some saving grace in that. I've literally only seen a photo of it that big on the internet. Haven't seen interior photos, haven't seen any details about it all. All I know is it's registered, turbo and manual. And there it is. Wow. Thanks, Darren. This is Darren. I've just purchased his car. He drove down from, where'd you drive down from?
Byron Bay.
Byron Bay. Wow.
Yes.
How long did it take you to get down here?
11 hours.
11 hours.
In a seedy hotel.
Wow. And you'd be used to seedy hotels in Byron Bay though, right? I got some crazy stories about Byron Bay actually.
Yeah.
It's probably for another time. But thanks for driving all this way. Thanks for the mad car. It's just there. It's just sitting right there. I'm very excited. Never owned one, never driven one, don't know anything about it. And now you're getting a bus back to the airport.
That's me. Bus and planes now.
Awesome. Thanks, man. And the car works.
Beautifully.
It's going to start and drive.
For days and days.
Is the car going to be faster than a turbo Lancer?
What year?
2000.
Just front wheel drive?
Yes.
She should be close.
Close.
She'll do her best.
You've heard. Now, does it do burnouts?
Yes, it does. In second even.
Really?
Yeah, first to second.
Wow.
Floor it.
Now,
Squeal.
apparently, it's 0 to 100 in 8 seconds from the factory. Is
Some
that correct?
horses may have fled the paddock.
Wow. Okay.
But it's got a new turbo, so
New turbo.
yeah.
Now, I do understand that. How much money have you spent on this car so far?
I've put nearly $8,000 into this thing.
$8,000.
You won't even notice where it goes. But
Wow.
it's in there.
But just the turbo alone was $1,000. Is that right?
Yep.
Wow. And when was that changed?
Less than 6 months ago, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Marty's Lance is going to get thrashed. That's what's going to happen. Darren, give me the key and see you later. Oh, yes, there it is.
So he's on his way with his car. It's just, I just wanted to take it a moment to say, it doesn't matter what he brings, nothing will ever chop the Mitsubishi Evo Stanza. Just, how could it? It's turboed. It's just it's a heavily modified vehicle. That's what it is. Like, you go to see a modified vehicle somewhere, you go to a car show, you go to like Auto Salon or something, that is what you're going to see. That is what a modified Mitsubishi Lancer Stanza Evo should be. What? Oh yes! No, you didn't! That's awesome! You bought an old sub!
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Oh, you're gonna get chopped hard, but that is so cool, man.
That is what I'm talking about, Martin.
That is so cool.
I'll just turn the key off.
What?
That is
I legitimately looked up these cars the other day.
The goosebumps
To
is real,
see-
Martin.
I looked up these cars the other day because I saw how cool they were.
This is a Saab 900 Turbo 16 valve, an iconic European performance vehicle that features numerous design elements taken from Saab's extensive experience with aircraft. With a 2-litre intercooled turbocharged engine, the Saab 900 Turbo is capable of reaching speeds well over 200 kilometres an hour.
I bought it from Byron Bay, which is like the hippie marijuana capital of Australia. It's the furthest, I think one of the furthest eastmost points of the country. A guy called Darren, he's a beekeeper, but he plays with lathes for fun. So this is a 1993 Saab 900 Turbo 16 valve.
I'm just gonna stop you right there. I love it.
Oh, do you?
I love it so much.
Thank you, Martin.
That colour appeal. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. Go on. Tell me more.
So he is fastidious. Like, he's absolutely
I
fastidious.
can tell it's been waxed, dude.
He cleaned it before I got here. This is the bit that might frighten you, Martin. Actually, no, I'll tell you that bit later.
All right.
Let me show you some of the really awesome things inside, because there's some really, really cool things. One of the really rad things is, right, so normally when you park your car, you lock your steering wheel for security, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no key.
There's no key. So how do you lock your steering wheel?
With a bit of wood.
No, you can't. So instead, the car, when you turn it off, the car goes into reverse and the key won't come out until it's in reverse. Then you click again and pull the key out and the car is now locked in reverse.
Oh, that's clever.
So you can move the steering wheel, but your car's in reverse, no matter what.
Yeah, right, okay.
Which
That's
is pretty cool. ABS, heated seats, air conditioning, stereo.
The paint is perfect, dude.
5-speed manual. And look at this just big chunkiness. Now I'm going to pop the bonnet for you, Martin.
It couldn't be more different than mine.
I
You're
know,
dropping
which
all
is-
these
which
weird
is-
hints. I thought you were going to rock up in like a Starlet or a Mirage or something kind of weird like that.
Now, Martin, I'll just pop the bonnet for you, mate. You just stay there, Martin. Ah, so good. You ready?
Yep. No. What the hell is that?
So in here, 2-litre turbocharged 16 valve, new Garrett turbo just installed. It's had $8,000 spent on it so far by its owner. intercooled, turboed, fully serviced.
Wait, I'm going to sound like an absolute newbie, but I know nothing about these cars.
Yes.
That motor's going that way.
Yep. So the motor's facing backwards, then chain drives down, and then reverses and goes back the other way via a chain or something.
Is it front or rear wheel drive?
Front.
Yeah, I know, because that's like
Except that's backwards.
right.
And then,
okay.
and then it goes via a chain kind of differential. I don't know. I don't understand.
Just because Sweden.
But it's backwards.
This is Sweden, right?
Yeah. Some really clever things though, Marty. Like if you undo these two bolts here and here, that whole thing just comes off, so you can work on the car easy, right? Undo these two and drop that out, the whole of the front of the car just comes off, so you can work on the engine. Like, it's just really smart. It's really cool. So it is two-door. Look at the fuse box. Like, it's just everything's really clear. Everything you need to know right there.
But even what they wrap the wiring loom in is that like high quality cloth tape.
It's just
stuff.
quality, man. This is an expensive car back in the day. You know, very expensive car. Now in the
I
boot,
love the paint, man. I can't believe how neat it is.
you ready for the size? Because this blew me away.
Oh, what?
Flat pack, and the rear seat goes up and then down, making that completely flat as well. So it's like, I mean,
Look at the condition of it,
huge,
man.
Like it's huge.
I'm freaking out over the condition of it. Like,
$2,700,
it's
Martin.
so neat.
Let me tell you a bit more about the owner and how much of a legend he is. I've spent like a total of 3 minutes with him. He just goes, I've also packed for you a couple of spares. In here we have another CV joint. It doesn't even need it done, but he needed to do one, so he bought two and then left it in there for me in case I would need it.
I love car owners like that.
All of the things that the car needs are in here in case we need them. Spare parts, documentation, the original Saab toolkit in here. And look how smart they are. They know that's going to sit like that. So this here, I expected it just to fall open, but no, it's just sitting on a little thing like that so that you can use that as a little tool case, you know, which is just awesome.
This is unreal.
And
wait,
then
the question everyone wants to know that is it slow?
from the factory, 0 to 100 in 8 seconds.
That's
fast. That's like Golf
getting to slow.
GTIs,
Yeah,
you know, like
getting to
it's
slow,
kind of
but not quite
getting
slow
there.
yet. Isn't like a
But-
Corolla like 10 seconds?
Yeah, but
It's heavy too, right?
Garrett turbos, awesome. Turbos plural, but no, just one. In here, Martin. How about a complete service history for the last 15 years?
Is that how long he's owned it for?
No, but it was owned by a friend of his.
Oh, cool. And he's got the whole service.
And so he's got the whole thing all properly done by. It's so much money's been spent on it from here. He's owned it for 2 years, and in that time he spent $8,000 on it. So why can you only get them for like, you know, why is it $2,700? Because Saab as a company don't exist anymore. It's like it's not relevant. People are not interested in it. But
They got bought by GM.
I've always been interested in them. Never driven one. Don't know anything about them. Everything I'm telling you, I learnt in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Before
much
the
to
owner
learn.
had to like get back on a bus and leave. So there it is, Martin, and it's gonna chop your Evo hard, isn't it? Do you want to go for a drive?
Yeah, I do. I really, really do. I love it, man.
I'm having like nasty thoughts, Martin, about. I'm having two nasty thoughts. One thing's just going, keep it and it's nice and whatever, and then the other one is telling me what I'm actually going to do to it. And I said to the owner, I said, if you want to keep it stock, then just don't sell it to me. Like if it's going to upset you, because some people have that feeling, and I feel a little bit of sympathy about what I'm going to do to it and what we're going to put it through. But I also have to remember, he's had it for sale for months. I think he said 8 months or something. Like no one wants it, no one's interested. He had people waste his time. So I said, look, I'll take it. I'll give it a life.
Or
Or a death.
go out with a bang.
But
Dude, you got a neat one though. How good is it buying neat cars? I mean, this is the opposite of my Evo. I mean, my Evo's still going to chop you, but
Yeah.
it's the opposite experience of my Evo, which is just grot.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just nice.
This is nice. You know what this is,
awesome.
Martin?
Look at the
I'll tell you
car.
what it is. It's substantial. Are you ready to feel the substantial power?
Do it. Revs nicely, doesn't it?
Feels good, hey?
Really like
Really
clean and-
smooth and refined. Feels like it revs like sake, doesn't it? Smooth on the.
I just remember being very smashed up sake, so.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember much. I reckon back in the day, I mean, I don't know the actual figures, but there's a Golf GTI next to us. I reckon back in the early 90s. I reckon these were pumped Golf GTIs. What do you reckon?
I reckon, well, this would have been considered a fast car. Like, you're going back a long time. We're going back 25 years or something.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be slow. But what I think is incredible is
It's so quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
And 400,000 kilometers. 400,000
I wouldn't believe it.
kilometers.
If I couldn't see that, I'd say it's got like 150, 200. Like, it's, I mean, there's some things about wear and tear on like roof lining and stuff, but overall,
Yeah, and I mean, I think everything I mean, it's...
do you know what you don't have in your corner though?
Hold on. Your electric window works. My electric window works.
It's your toolbox falling out. Saab SAAB is like Saab Aerospace, but in Swedish.
How do you know all this?
I love Saabs.
Do you?
Oh, not really.
The legacy of expensive cars, a lot of people say, I hate Mercedes or BMWs or all these different things. I think we have to remember that the R&D that those companies put in, they float down to all of the other brands, like airbags, like seatbelts. I mean, these things were not invented by Toyota. You know, it's like they came from someone else, and they were premium items that eventually kind of dribble their way down to all these other cars.
Well, they're building to a price point. It's the same with this too. This wouldn't have been cheap.
No way. I mean, I don't know the original price. I'm sure someone out there would, but when you're getting a car that's turbo, intercooled, air conditioning, ABS, heated seats, like, it's a premium vehicle.
I think this was actually kind of Saab's heyday in a way. Like, these were really, really popular.
Yeah.
Like, I remember as a kid seeing them everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they've died
You ever
out.
been in one or driven one?
No,
or
I've never
anything?
been in one. It's not
Wow,
slow.
Phil. When you look on the internet for turbo cars under $3,000 that are manual, no, see, the fan speed doesn't control the fan.
How do you do just face?
That.
Oh,
But that doesn't make any difference. You control it with this.
well, that's nice. Well, that's really nice.
I don't understand it. But yeah, when you do a search online for turbo manual cars under $3,000, there's not much comes up. It's one of those things, I think, now that not many people are into them, and by not many I'm talking about relative to if you're into Skylines or Minis or Bugs or any of those kind of cool cars, you know.
Drive. Imagine if this was rear-wheel drive.
Oh,
Like,
they'd be all over the place, you
everywhere.
know. But it's hard to get parts in Australia. You've got to get them from eBay or you've got to get them from overseas.
Yeah.
There's a place down in Melbourne that supplies parts for them, so it's not easy. But also, the people that are into them are really, really into them. And those three guys have a bit of a monopoly on all the parts.
Which is probably why this one's so tidy. Because if you're gonna be into a car that much, like, you're gonna look after it, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's one of those things as well. You've got to be resourceful. You've got to learn how to fix it yourself. And for me, my thing, again, as usual, you know, is like I've had a mild interest in them, and the thing is, it's so cheap. You know, it's like, and to give people an understanding of you know what this is, you know, I think in Australia, your average wage is what, $700 a week or something like that, you know, thereabouts. So, you know, save up for a month and you could get one. It's kind of, you know, they're cheap for what they are, but then they're expensive because I'm sure upkeep and keeping them running is going to cost a lot.
Yeah. What I think is hilarious about all this, you bought the car I thought I would buy, and I bought the car I thought you would buy.
Yeah, isn't
Like,
that funny?
You know what I mean? I could have gone on something like this and something weird and obscure and like really nice, but instead I went the complete other direction and got something I would never buy. I'm really happy about it.
Well, I also got something that in a way I would never buy. Like, if we weren't doing this challenge, like, there's no way I would have bought this.
The thing is, I'll go faster because everyone I drive past just like loses their mind and their undies just fall off.
Oh, wow.
Men and women. Everyone I drive past is just, oh look, there's just me undies flying everywhere. Yeah. Sex spec, man.
It's true. I may win the race, but you will definitely get more offers of sex.
Isn't that why you build a sex spec car?
I don't know why they
I'm
do
sure
it.
they call it sex spec for a reason.
I remember at Auto Salon a few years ago, someone had done a sex spec Hi-Ace van, and the inside of it they turned into a strip club, including a pole. Do you remember that one?
I do.
We now have the battle of the turbo sex spec Lancer versus Saab 900 Turbo.
Like literally an old man, like a dentist's car.
What a battle! Isn't that awesome?
And I'd actually, like, if mine works, like if I actually make mine work, because currently I don't think it works, like it drops its guts and stuff. If I can get just to the point where it works again, I think it'll be a very interesting battle.
very evenly matched.
So I might have to fix my car.
So there it is. That is the mighty Saab, the Dominator, the Defecator. It is a race car. It has pure European JDM cred. and it is going to
That
destroy my
is
man's Evo here.
The
okay?
definition of nugget, and not a nice kind
good.
of goldy
Nuggets are
nugget
awesome.
that you find in
We
a
love
river
nuggets.
or a nugget you dig up from
So
the
you're
ground.
basically going to get a thing
It's
that's held
just
together with tech
an
screws
old
that doesn't even work versus something that is
dentist's
engineered by companies that
weirdo
make
car.
jets. That's what's going to happen, ladies and
They
gentlemen. You're going to have a fridge
they
on the
fail-
ground that's rolling on a log versus a jet in the sky.
They
What would you
failed
rather
so
ride on?
hard that
Do you
they
want to
don't
ride on
even
logs or do you
exist.
want to fly up there?
They don't even
with
exist
a couple of
anymore.
nice
You can't even buy
hostesses
one.
and a good
How many
pilot.
Mitsubishis can you
and
go
off
and
you
buy
go.
these days?
So there, we could stop talking over each other if you want to listen to me.
I don't listen to you at all.
So
I don't want to even look at your crap, ugly car.
So
either.
there it is. It's going to be a Saab versus an Evo, isn't it? It's not really. It's
not a real Evo.
It's the Saab versus the
not a real
Lancer.
good car.
And the Lancer will get dominated, of course. Next episode,
no
we
way.
begin the mods.
Powered away, JDM, turbo.
with minimal budgets for modifications, we'll pull together what we can find around the place. And there it is. Thank you for watching. It gets real next episode. Martin, thank you very much. Your car sucks ass, man, but you're still a nice guy. I still like you anyway.
Can we go out right now and buy a Saab?
Yeah, I just did it.
Can you go?
I
And
just
buy,
bought one.
Can you go and buy a brand new Saab?
You don't need to.
Oh, you
because-
can't go and buy a brand new Saab because they went out of business because
that's
they're
cool.
rubbish.
No,
I'm just
cool,
going to go
man.
to
No,
the
it's
Mitsubishi dealership. I'm just going to grab myself
Cool,
a
have
nice
fun with
little
that, man.
Mitsubishi.
Yep,
You know?
have fun with your fridge.
Yeah.
And I'll be flying in the sky with all the beautiful ladies.